Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Ignite with Sandy, the special program that I do with powerful women, successful women from all parts of the world, different nationalities, different walks of life. And in sharing their stories, we bring to you something very inspiring, inspiring messages where you can make a big change in your life if you so choose. So, our ladies, or the ladies that I bring on, have varied backgrounds and they have varied professions. And today, my guest is from the world of finance. Yeah, investments, banking, portfolio management, and all those lovely things. So, in short, she is making money for a lot of people and getting them rich. But you know something? That this particular field, the field of finance and all of that, is very much still the old boys club. And to make one's mark there, not only make one mark there, but also to move ahead in a career takes a special kind of lady. And my guest is just that. So I'm going to bring her on. And as you know, I never introduce my guest, I always get them to introduce themselves. So now we have my lovely, charming guest for the evening. Welcome to Ignite with Sandy. And please, could you introduce yourself to all our viewers?
Thank you, Sandy, and good afternoon to everyone. I'm very honored and very happy to be here tonight. My name is Alexandra Timotheadi. So, as you can probably guess from the surname, I'm Greek originally. I've been in the corporate world for the past 20 years. And my background in terms of the academics, it's a little bit unconventional. So my undergraduate degree is in biology, and my postgraduate, my master's, is in international management. And I have been in private banking, in private wealth management, as we say it in the financial jargon, for the past 20 years. I have been living in London for the 9 years, and in 2008, just before the financial crisis hit, I moved with my family to Dubai, where has become my home for the past approximately 14 years now. And this is where we met Sandy, and we go back quite a long way.
Yes, I know. And at the time we met, it was never in your mind or mine that we'd actually be doing an interview like this. But, you know, times move on and we progress in our careers, in our professions, and we move forward. But, you know, something, as I mentioned earlier, being in the finance field and especially in the places that you've worked, it's always been an old boys club. And there you were, this very young lady making your way up the corporate ladder, up the places where you to make decisions, not carry out other people's decisions. So, can you just share that journey and how easy was it, or how difficult, or how challenging? Because you know what it is. Everybody talks about it, but it all depends on how you handle it. So, could you give us a sense of how you went about, gaining confidence, gaining other people's trust in knowing how competent and intelligent you are?
Thank you. Absolutely. It's been a very interesting journey. Um, I am by nature a very optimistic person. So when I moved here, I have to say from London, the world of private banking and private wealth management was very different, with the challenges and the opportunities that brought. I came over and I worked in a Swiss private bank at the time, where I was the only woman on the front office. And I have to say that the people welcomed me. They were very happy to have someone with international experience. They were very happy to hear the new ideas and everything, all the ideas about products, about the way we did wealth management in London and all the complementary services we provided, like succession planning, for example. So I have to admit that my colleagues were wonderful in my first job. They helped me a lot to, they understood that I came from a very different background, so I didn't have a lot of relationships here in the Middle East. They introduced me to a lot of the big families, and the CEO at the time took me under his wing, and through him I met some of the top people, not just in the Emirates but in Dubai, and this is how my journey started. I think what helped me over the years to remain in the industry and do well was that whenever I moved to a specific team, and I have now worked for an American investment bank in Morgan Stanley, where I started my career, in a British bank in Barclays Wealth, and then in three different Swiss private banks. So I have a holistic, I can say that I have a holistic view of what's happening in the world of wealth management. And I think what has really helped me to move up in the ladder and to thrive, if I may say so, is that the criteria of choosing my teams had to do mainly with the people I was working with. So, of course, the remuneration is very important, because when you work hard, you want to be remunerated for your efforts. But for me, it was never solely about the amount of money that a specific bank or an organization would pay me. I made sure that there was a lot of chemistry, and that I would work with people that would be inspirational for me, because I cannot work with or under people that I don't look up to. And this is something that I think you can apply in any industry, not just the financial industry. You need to work with people where you can learn and evolve as a person and as a professional.
Quite true, quite true. But you know something, I just wanted to find out from you, because you worked in an American system, you worked in a British system, and then of course you came here and you also worked in a Swiss system. So was there anything common, and also was there anything different in the way that the work ethic, the
Yes.
work atmosphere?
Sadly, the common denominator is the bureaucracy and the compliance, which over the years and the regulations have increased massively. I mean, there is a reason behind it. But nevertheless, that has made our life and the life of our clients very difficult. So my view is that banks and the financial institutions these days, they need to tackle this. They need to find a way to the way they work, to look after the clients properly, and not to have as the first priority that they're not going to get fines, and that they're going to oblige with what the regulator says. And of course, this is very important. But for me, the client experience is the number one, and this is what keeps the business going. And you cannot thrive as a company if your clients are not happy in the long term. This cannot happen.
Very true. And we all know that compliance is becoming more and more an issue. And the days, like maybe 15 years ago, things were so very different. And now, of course, everything is different. So sometimes it becomes a little difficult for clients to understand that they have to provide more information, be more open, etc. So, what I wanted to ask you, Alex, is when you were introduced from your office to people, high net worth individuals, and I'm assuming most of them were male, uh, how did they, for example, people in the UAE, how did they receive you as a competent, well informed individual who happened to be female?
Yes, that's an excellent question, because I mean, this has changed dramatically since I first arrived here. But in 2008, and for the first few years, finance was a very male dominated environment. but also the people that they were managing the assets and the wealth were mainly men. So as you said, it was a kind of a closed private club where you would rarely see women. So the initial response was sometimes with a bit of suspicion. So I had to work twice as hard to prove my competence and look after them. So to open the door was much tougher than for my male colleagues. But I had a competitive advantage because in Morgan Stanley and in Barclays in London, the role that I was doing was hybrid. So apart from being a private banker where you do sales and you bring the clients in, you also manage the assets. And because I had the academic background with economics and finance, I could understand the markets well. I had a competitive advantage over the majority of the people that worked in wealth management in the UAE, where many of them, they were in the industry mainly because of their connections through their family, for example, but they lacked that understanding of the markets. So whenever they met clients, they always need to have an investment advisor with them. And they just couldn't take decisions on behalf of the client without the advice of someone else. And that helped me to for the clients to appreciate me more, because they could see that they had a second layer apart from the investment advisors, where I could filter everything the bank would present to them according to what I thought was to the best of interest for my clients. So that was something that made a big difference to build my book and my client base.
Okay, so you do specialize in succession planning. So, for those of us who don't quite understand what succession planning is, can you just give us a brief overview of that?
Yeah. So wealth management can be broken down to several parts. So apart from because managing a family's wealth or someone's wealth can be a very complex, can be something very complex because there's so many parts that are involved. The parts of the puzzle are many, and the different asset classes have become more and more complex over the years. So succession planning is just one part of it, and it has to do with how a family or an individual is going to pass the wealth that has been created to the next generation. And that can be done through structures, through companies. Here we have the additional aspect of the Sharia law, and that has made things a little bit more complicated. So sometimes we deal with clients that their wealth comes in the billions, and they are several companies involved, companies that are abroad, they're in the Gulf. So it's a very complicated matter. We try to collaborate with other companies that are the top in their fields in order to be able to give the best advice to our clients. Because obviously we can't be experts in everything, but we try to find the best advice from them, from the specialists.
Yes, I think it's important that you bring in a team of specialists, because each aspect of succession planning requires a different specialist. So you're the one with the money and how it will grow, but there's perhaps the lawyers who will structure the agreements in such a way that the succession plan goes smoothly. You need to understand the laws of the different countries involved, etc. So that
Yes.
is the really high net worth individuals. So would you advise people who are, for example, they've got money, they're running companies, they have assets, etc. How important is the concept of succession planning?
It is extremely important. It's something that, and I'm a culprit myself, it's something that we keep on procrastinating and postponing because we think that there are so many other things that are important. But actually, succession planning is extremely important because what people have taken an entire lifetime to create can be destroyed and can cause a lot of issues within the family. And we've seen several problems to the point where brothers or sisters, they don't talk to each other anymore because of the fact that the succession planning was not set up properly. So there were serious disputes within the families. So succession planning is something that I think it's important to make sure that your family remains in a harmonious state after you're gone, and your efforts are not they're not wasted because you people have spent so many years of their life building the wealth. Many of the people I deal with are self-made
Yeah.
millionaires. So yes, my advice is that it's never too early to do succession planning, and obviously to keep updating according to how
Yes.
your circumstances change.
Yeah, because one of the things that I have noticed, especially because of living in the UAE, is that people come here from different nationalities, and they sort
Yeah.
of, get together and they get married, and then everything is so rosy, and sometimes they ignore the part that, under what law are they married? Is it the law of the husband, the country laws of the wife, the UAE laws, etc.? And I also know that there are divorces that take place with high net worth people, and invariably the lady always gets less because she has not made the effort to understand her legal position and her legal rights. So, what is your opinion on that?
Now you have touched a soft point because I have encountered several cases over my career with ladies that they were divorced, and some of them in divorces that they were not amicable. So they were very complex and very messy. And what we see over the years is that yes, the women miss out because they're not involved in the finances. Many times they have no clue what the wealth of the family is, let alone how much they should take. And whenever they get a decent settlement, they have no idea how to manage those assets. So what they do is they leave the cash, if the majority of them usually cash, or sitting in a local bank account where it earns a small interest. In many cases, it's not even covering the inflation, and inflation has been quite high in the past few years. So there is the compounded effect of losing a lot of the value of their assets over the years. And it's a pity because the capital is eroding and they don't realize that. So what I've done is I've approached several divorce lawyers where we're trying to have some kind of introductions to ladies that would like to have access to well, they can have a trusted individual where I can help them. I have three ladies in my books right now that I've been looking after for the past 10 years or so. And I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy they trusted me, and I'm very happy that I've helped them in such a difficult time in their life, such a stressful time.
Yes, actually, it's a good thing that you are there for them, because I know of a lot of ladies who realize too late, and they don't know where to go, whom to reach out to. So it's good to know that you're proactive. So we're going to move along, because I know that you've got quite a interesting future career option. And so, quite different to actually what you do in a way, because whatever you have done so far will help you in that. But We'll come to that a little later. So tell me, what is this new venture and why did you start it?
Indeed, a couple of years ago, I've decided to do something in parallel with what I'm doing now. Because for many years, I've been looking to do something that was more fulfilling for me as a person. And my first degree is, as I mentioned, is biology. So I'm in awe, and find the natural world spectacular. There is so much that we can learn just by observing the natural world. And as in the Japanese culture, I'm not sure how many of our viewers are aware of the notion of ikigai. So ikigai, when I first came across it, it was a revelation for me because it was exactly what I was looking for over the years, but I just couldn't put it in words, and I just couldn't put it together. It was something in my head. So when I saw ikigai, and what ikigai is the actual schematically, there are four overlapping circles where you have the first circle represents what you love. The second one is what the world needs. The third one is what you're good at. And the fourth one is what you can get paid for what you do. So in the overlapping area in the middle, you get your ikigai. So when I was traveling, it was a few months after the pandemic had finished and we could travel around. I was traveling with my father. We were invited in a mountain village in Greece. And among the people that were invited for the lunch, there were two local beekeepers. So they offered us to try the local honey. And even though I consider myself a foodie and I love gourmet food, I was surprised. I had never tried that unbelievable honey. It was dark. It was almost black. They explained to me that it came from the local mountains where there these beautiful pristine forests full of oak and chestnut trees. They were very upset and quite sad because they couldn't sell the honey because of the pandemic. There were no tourists, there was no one traveling. So my father and I suggested we take a few kilos and we just sell it without any profit, of course, just to help them, to our friends and whoever was honey connoisseur wanted to try something different. And the response was tremendous. My friends and relatives, they absolutely love the honey. So then the idea came that I could do something to help all these small beekeepers that they have. In Greece, we have an incredible tradition in beekeeping, goes back thousands of years. I mean, you see in Santorini and in Crete, Minoan frescoes where there are depictions of beekeeping, and that is 3,500 years old probably. So there is a lot of know-how in how to look after the bees. So over the following subsequently 2 years, I traveled around Greece as much as my free time allowed, having a job and two small children. And I met dozens of beekeepers. I tried hundreds of types of honey. And I decided to set up my company where it is in a way almost like a cooperative. I found what I believe, and of course they are all independent laboratory accredited honeys. I found what I believe are the best honeys in Greece, or some of the best, because the quest is not over yet. The search is still ongoing. And we designed with some very talented graphic designers and creative directors some beautiful packaging to reflect the quality and the beauty of honey. And a few weeks ago, we've launched initially in Instagram. The company is called Anthology Honey, and I am very, very excited about the prospects. The response we've had until now has been absolutely amazing and humbling. People love the honey and they're extremely happy. because they realize that there is a huge impact socially, where they help small beekeepers
Yes.
to maintain the tradition and to keep the way of life away from the major urban centers. And of course, to help the environment, because we all know that the bees are the pillars of
Yes.
all ecosystems, and they've been suffering. It's something that's extremely sad. They've been suffering for decades now with the use of the extreme use of pesticides, and of course the atmospheric pollution and everything that we've been creating. So the goodness is. There are so many aspects that are good, and they're helping, and that's something that for me is it gives me a lot of satisfaction as a human being, not just as a businesswoman. So yes, this is my new venture. I'm so happy that I get to present it in this lovely interview.
So tell me, why did you choose the name Anthology for your company?
Excellent. Yes, I'm very glad you mentioned that. So a lot of people are asking this. Why did you mention anthology? Did you have you taken anthology? So anthology is a Greek word that has several meanings. The initial meaning is not a collection of CDs or albums or literature works, but it means a collection of blossoms. And I chose it because it is an ancient Greek word, and because it's symbolic. So the bees collect the pollen, then they convert it through a very complex series with the enzymes, and then they give us the beautiful superfood that we call it in my company the sacred elixir, which is honey.
I think that's a wonderful thing that you're doing, obviously, because you are supporting a complete homegrown or, very organic kind of business. And there are so many of those people who have knowledge that they've got from generation to generation. And you
Indeed.
stepping in there is now taking that knowledge and that product to market. But at the same time, you are very mindful of the fact that you have to maintain the ecosystem, because what happens is everybody gets so commercial and then they start cutting corners and they lose everything. So I think that's a very important thing, because I think you are very much into sustainability as well.
Yes, 100%. Sustainability, transparency. Things now have to, I think there is a huge shift in business, in the way people do business, especially the young entrepreneurs, that, as I like to call them, ecopreneurs. And I would like to, I consider myself one of them, where creating shareholder value, as it has been the main priority for companies for the past 3 and 4 decades, is not what drives the businesses, because there are several other aspects in the way we operate. So it's the environment, is the social aspect. We have to be mindful of all of these, and the cyclical economies, of course, in order to be able to move forward as a species on the earth, not just as entrepreneurs and as business people. So I'm very happy to be part of this change of mindset. And I want to reach as many people as possible through the honeys. I want to create this awareness about all the goodness that people can do, and they hold so much power in their hands, and also the mindfulness. Because to me, honey, it's a beautiful natural treasure that in the Western world is quite misunderstood. Unlike
Yes.
India, for example, and the Eastern cultures, where honey holds a very high esteem in the heart of the people in the subcontinent. I mean, it is a major part of Ayurvedic medicine. In the Western world, for many, many years, honey was considered just a sweetener. So
Yes.
people completely lost touch with the fact that this is an incredible superfood, that I say to myself, and I think out loud, that it's one of the few foods, the natural foods on earth, that hasn't changed for thousands of years. The recipe is so perfect that
Yes.
there has been no evolution in it, because it's just incredible as it is.
Yeah.
And
That's the beauty of nature. Yeah, and we
absolutely,
unfortunately
we need
have
to
been
appreciate it.
abusing that nature for so long. So it's nice to know that you are going back to basics and looking at the pure stuff. So we're coming to the end of our webinar. So, Alex, I'd like you to round up by giving our ladies some tips on maybe finance, and also if you want to branch out like you have into something else that excites you, that you want to do and you feel strongly about it. So what advice would you give to the ladies?
Uh, the main advice I would give is to be bold, and when they've recognized that there is an opportunity, that's something that they love and they would like to pursue, not to waste any time. Um, Prepare themselves, read, speak to as many people as possible about it, and try to find some financing if they're not able to finance it themselves. I mean, you can always grow organically. You don't need to go crazy and approach private equity funds in the beginning. Through networking and through social media, now there is so much we can do for free in terms of marketing our businesses, and people love to support small businesses with deep value and an impact. So I would like to say that please, women are so talented, they have so much to give. Don't hold back. Don't I know it's very difficult to raise kids. Believe me, I've been there with the for 2 years now. I've been doing two jobs, have two kids and two dogs and a husband that have, thankfully, he's very self-sufficient. But it's not easy, and many times you want to quit. But the reward is so incredible, and you feel so good about what you have achieved, that you forget everything. So if you feel like quitting, don't quit. Just rest, take a deep breath, take a spoonful of honey, and keep on going. Because as long as you're in the race, things will
That's
move,
it.
and it will happen. It will happen. It's just a mathematical certainty that if you want something really badly, you will do it well and you will succeed.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. And I love the part about take a teaspoonful of honey. Yeah, that's what's going to make the
Yes,
difference in your life,
yes, a bit
keeping
of
you nice
sweetness
and
in our life.
sweet.
We're worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, my dear. Thank you so much for taking the time out
Thank
from
you.
your very busy schedule. I know you have
Thank
a
you so
very
much.
packed schedule for today, but we really do appreciate having you on the show. And
It was my
I'm sure I'll be
pleasure.
meeting you soon. There's so many other things happening, especially in this
Yes,
busy place called the UAE. So thank you so much. God bless.
indeed.
And
Thank you.
I will
Thank you,
speak to you
Sandy.
later. Thank you
Take
very
care of
much.
you. Thank you. Goodbye,
Okay.
everyone. Bye bye.
So there you have it. A young lady who started out in the world of finance and is still in the world of finance. And she's said some very important things, which I think I would like to share again with you. So it's all about learning, it's all about observing, it's all about creating more. And very important, all your experiences add up to where you are today. That is your database, that is your bank where you can go and withdraw your experiences and put them to good use somewhere else. So you don't have to give up one thing to start another. you can have parallel things because as Alex has been in the investment and or the fund management and all, I'm sure it's helping her a lot when she's setting up her business because she knows what to do. But if you remember what she said, if you don't know, ask. Reach out to people who can help you so that you will succeed. Because why do you want to do everything yourself when there's so many other people to assist you? But what I liked a lot is when she talked about this Japanese concept called ikagai. No, it is ikigai, if I'm correctly pronouncing it. And I'm looking at it on my phone because I just don't know much about it. So it's a Japanese concept that means your reason for being. And that is something we should all be looking at, right? Your reason for being. Iki in Japanese means life, and gai describes the value of worth. Now, tell me how many of you really value yourself, really have a purpose in life, a sense of knowing what you want to do. So, today is a good day for you, after listening to us, to just go back and write down your why and how and what you want to do. And remember that finance is an important aspect of your life. Succession planning is an important part of your life. So don't think just because you don't have billions of dollars that you shouldn't do anything. Wake up, ladies, and get your information, get your records in order, keep yourself informed. And on that very happy note, thank you very much for watching. You know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get on our YouTube channel. You're supposed to view this. You're supposed to like. Very important. You're supposed to share it in your networks and subscribe. So, from all of us at Celestia, thank you for watching and God bless. Take care.